what I'm doing with her photography and the photo trotting trips is kind of a combination of both my passions, my passion for photography and my passion for travel. And out of that came another passion, and that is giving back. And so I created photo tours originally just to teach people how to better operate their camera while they're traveling, and ended up having another aspect of that, and that's not only learning how to shoot better photos, but learning how to shoot better photos and get engaged in the culture and give back while we're traveling. The purpose of my first trip to East Africa, Tanzania in particular, with the Women's Global Network, was to meet with the women who were the recipients of the microfinance loans that the women of our organization sponsored. And we planned a trip to go to Bukoba, and we met with the Bukoba Women's Initiative down there. And we were there to share best business practices with these women who were on, some of them were on their second, third, and fourth loan. And so we went to 7 different villages. We sat and we spoke with these ladies through a translator and sampled their products. One lady made banana beer, and another lady made these little donuts. So we just went and enjoyed them, spent about a week with them, ended up having a little awards ceremony where we all went out and danced with them. And it really, to me, the life-changing part of that was seeing how similar we are, but yet having those disparities between our countries, and these women not having all the same advantages as we do. But one of the ladies was a hairdresser. She had no electricity. So she couldn't curl hair, she couldn't, use a blow dryer. So one of the projects we looked into was affording her maybe a windmill so she could generate some power. And then another lady we spoke with, she started out with her loan of $300, and she bought a couple chickens, a couple pigs, and ended up selling, trading, buying, selling, trading. She ended up with a great little farm. She had a couple heads of cattle, more pigs, and more chickens. So she sold her eggs, and she was doing so well. And in one of our little journeys to a village, I met this darling little girl, and she told me her name, but I don't remember it because it was in a language I didn't quite understand. But she kind of glommed on to me, and every time she looked up at me with that little smile, I just wanted to hug her. So I grabbed her by the hand, and we walked around a little bit through her village, and finally I asked her, I said, "May I take your photo?" And she just smiled at me and propped herself up against this wall, had that great little flower in her hand, and that's the result. And I bent over and gave her the best little hug, and I'll tell you, holding her little body in mine was just so life-changing. I can't even tell you how it felt. Such a darling little girl. When I returned from Tanzania, a reporter from the Coast News contacted me and asked if she could do a little piece on our travels and how we had connected with the women in Tanzania. So after the article came out, I had a phone call from a very sweet gentleman. His name is Rudy Schaefer. And he presented his program called Water for Life. It's a nonprofit based out of San Diego. And he proceeded to tell me what they do. They raise funds, they buy these Sawyer water filters, they deliver them to different countries. Right now he's in India, Cambodia, and parts of Africa. And he started to tell me the reason why they use the Sawyer water filter and the production of the 50 gallons a day. But what surprised me the most was how sex trafficking and child trafficking was related to people not having clean water, especially in Cambodia. So I agreed to help Rudy with the fundraiser, and myself and 5 other companions took 35 water filters with us to Cambodia a year ago. So my experience traveling through East Africa changed the way I view my life today, in that I have slowed down and I have learned not to take what we have for granted. And when I talk to people about my experiences in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, one of the things I say to them is I so wish that everybody would have an opportunity to go and visit and stay and learn in a developing country. I think we take our lives for granted, whereas in, say, for instance, Uganda and Tanzania, they're human beings, but they're really considered disposable. And that's heartbreaking, especially when you see their living conditions right now. They're not perfect. And yet you look at these little children and they're happy and they know no difference. but their parents are doing a good job teaching them that as well. And the parents are there to love them, and so that's what they know. But when I come back to the States, I do surprise myself with the fact that I don't want to take anything for granted anymore. I want to spend more time with my family. I want to do the things that I'm passionate about. I don't want to wait. I feel truly blessed that I have been able to take my business to another level, that I've been able to visit these countries and all the people and experience all the different cultures, and I get to finally live my dream, and I'm not going to stop. This is what I love to do, this is what I get to do, and this is the result of having a vision and sticking to my vision and never giving up.